Hello, my name is Nicholas Palmero, and I'm here to give a presentation on the brief history of batteries. Before we start, please take a look around you and count how many devices in the room use batteries. My guess is probably there are too many to count. Batteries make up a huge part of our lives, and all around us there's devices that rely on batteries to work day to day. The global battery market is projected to be $120 billion in 2019, so clearly it's a large part of our economy too. Any battery, from a simple AA battery to the massive power bank seen on the right, require electricity to function. Electricity has been known about for thousands of years because of things like lightning and static electricity, but it was not understood until scientists like Benjamin Franklin started to experiment with it. In 1752, Franklin performed his famous kite experiment, which showed that lightning was an electrical discharge. It was not until 1831 that electricity could be reliably generated. Michael Faraday is credited to be the first to create an electricity generator, which used alternating magnets to produce a charge. This generator allowed for electricity to be generated at a constant rate. Almost 100 years earlier, in 1745, German cleric Ewald Georg von Kleist invented a device called a Leyden's jar. This device could efficiently store a charge and release it when desired. It consisted of a glass jar with metal foil covering both the inside and outside of the jar. After being charged using static electricity, the two foil sides could be bridged to produce a shock. This device was the first time that electricity could be stored, essentially forming the first battery. However, the Leyden's jar's practicality was limited because it had to release all of its charge at one time and could not produce voltage over a period of time. In the year 1800, Italian physicist Alessandro Volta created the first device that could produce a charge over a period of time, the Voltaic pile. This device consisted of copper and zinc plates stacked on top of each other, with an electrolyte-soaked piece of board in between. These discs underwent a chemical reaction that released electrons, forming an electrical charge. This device was truly revolutionary as it allowed electricity to be practical and portable. However, this device did have its shortcomings. When the chemical reaction between the plates had exhausted, the device had to be scrapped because it could not be recharged like our batteries today. A variation of the Voltaic pile can actually be produced with three common household objects as a display of its ability to create a charge. In order to do this, you will need two sources of metal that are reactive and an electrolyte solution. In my demonstration, I've chosen to use copper pennies, aluminum foil, and lemon juice soaked paper as the electrolyte. Stacking these discs, starting with the copper penny, then the electrolyte soaked paper, then the aluminum foil, gives you a small Voltaic pile with the ability to produce a slight charge. An LED light is a good way to demonstrate this charge as it only requires a slight amount of power. Putting the positive terminal of the LED on top of the Voltaic pile and the negative terminal on the bottom lights up the LED and demonstrates its electric charge. This simple demonstration may not be impressive to those today, but for Alessandro Volta and his peers, this device was revolutionary in electric power. The Daniell cell was invented by British chemist Frederick Daniell in 1836. This device produced a charge through a similar chemical reaction as the Voltaic pile, but its design allowed for charge to be produced over a much longer period of time. This was the first battery to see a real-world application, as it was used to power electric telegraph networks and was sometimes used in early electronic doorbells. The Daniell cell worked well for its applications, but its design used acidic liquids for its electrolytes and glass components, making them fragile and dangerous if not handled properly. In 1886, German physician Karl Gossner patented a Leclanche cell, which is a variation of the Daniell cell but using a paste instead of a liquid. This allowed the battery to be more compact, safer, less maintenance intensive, and allowed the battery to be oriented in any fashion. The Columbian dry cell was this type of battery and was the first to be mass-produced in 1896. This same type of battery is still used today in a much more compact form in single-use batteries like the D batteries on the right. Today, lithium-ion batteries are used in most applications that require rechargeability. The lithium-ion battery was developed by British chemist M. Stanley Whittingham in the 1970s. These batteries are exponentially more efficient than their single-use counterparts, and are able to be recharged without any replacement parts. In the fall of 2017, Tesla finished work on the largest battery ever built. This battery, seen on the right, was actually a number of batteries connected together for the use of being a backup power source in southern Australia. Lithium-ion batteries are the most efficient type of batteries available today. However, they do contain some inherent safety hazards. Lithium is a highly reactive and flammable metal. If a lithium battery was to be punctured, there is a high risk of it catching fire or even exploding. An example of this was seen in Samsung's Galaxy Note 7, where their lithium-ion batteries were repeatedly breaking and catching fire, costing the company at least $5 billion in lawsuits and replacements. There are many new types of batteries being developed, but three types stand out among them: sodium-ion batteries, lithium-sulfur batteries, and solid-state batteries. Sodium-ion batteries replace the lithium element with sodium, greatly improving the longevity of the battery. Lithium-sulfur batteries add sulfur to theoretically increase the charge-to-weight ratio, although this has not yet been tested. Solid-state batteries replaces the lithium with another non-combustible element. These batteries are the most promising because they are much safer than lithium-ion batteries and have a greater power-to-weight ratio. These three types of batteries are the future for powering our devices, and you can expect to see them in everyday devices soon. Thank you for listening. I hope you've enjoyed my presentation.